Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and welcome to Soft Flow Yoga. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice. So we are going to be doing a pose called Dolphin Pose. Dolphin Pose is our main featured posture today. Now with Dolphin Pose, it is kind of an inverted posture, but we're going to focus on some upper body strength and particularly our shoulders, because that's kind of the portion of the body that's being worked in that posture. Now, of course, because it's soft flow, we're going to certainly modify that position once we get to it. We're going to do most of the practice kind of getting warmed up and ready for that pose. So again, Dolphin Pose is our feature today. And we'll need some props, and I do recommend that you have a blanket, something soft that you can sit on, kneel on, and it will actually be helping us when we do Dolphin Pose. So a blanket or even a big towel that you can probably fold. And then maybe a couple of yoga blocks can come in handy when we do our bridge pose. We usually do a supported bridge pose, so something stackable like some books or your yoga blocks, and just an optional big pillow if you like that for your Shavasana practice. So that's it for today. So let's go ahead and start our practice, and of course we like to start in seated, so do find your comfortable seat. That could be on your pillow or your folded blanket or towel, and then just sit up nice and tall. We'll be here for a moment, so just go ahead and get very comfortable. Oh, I forgot one more thing as far as our props today. So along with your blanket, your books or blocks, and a pillow, you'll need a wall, okay? You'll need a wall. So even if you have to walk off camera, but you can still hear me, go ahead and find a wall that you can do a part of our getting ready for our dolphin pose. Okay, so with that, sitting nice and still, nice and tall on your blanket or towel, just a nice lengthened spine. Feel free to keep your eyes open or you can close your eyes. Just to begin your practice. After you've closed your eyes, start to tune into your breath. You might start with slow, steady breaths. You don't have to do anything special with your breathing, just the awareness that you are breathing. Coming to stillness, finding that quiet within. And the only thing that you can feel and hear is your breath. Good. Just continue with these slow, steady breaths as you get reacquainted with the feeling and the sound. Knowing that you're bringing yourself to this moment as you're preparing for your yoga practice today. As you inhale, you want to feel the breath rising upward to fill your lungs. Very expansive up top. And as you exhale, you want to draw your navel inward towards your spine. Just a light engagement in your center. That might be a light contraction of the abdominal muscles. Nothing too strong. Just an awareness of kind of this pulling in action. Your belly button moving in towards your spine. Again, as you inhale, just feel the lengthening in your spine, grow a little taller in your seat. Breath rising to fill up your lungs. Again, that expansiveness across the chest. Then, of course, your exhale, connecting to center, drawing belly in. And just continue with that sensation. At the moment, just let your shoulders relax. Arms and hands are just heavy by your side or in your lap. Very nice. Let's start our moving meditation. But first, just take 3 more breaths in preparation to move. And when you're ready, and inhale to extend your arms out and up. Just reach into the air. Nice sensation of that stretch. Exhale, extend your arms out. Let them float back down by your side. And inhale, extend your arms out. Once again, reaching across the room. So good energy and effort in that extension, reaching high. And exhale, reaching outward again, arms coming back down. Go ahead and continue this movement with your own breath and pace. So go at your own speed as you lift your arms with the inhale and lower your arms with your exhale. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be working our shoulders as we get prepared for Dolphin Pose. It's an upper body strengthening position. It has quite an effect on the shoulders. So we want to get a gentle movement here. We'll do a light stretch as well. And some of our postures today as we prepare will help us to gain some strength in the shoulders. As you're moving in slow motion, just feel the arms, the energy moving through the arms, down through the hands and fingertips. As you reach into the air, the lengthening through the sides of your body. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. Going at your own pace. When you're complete, you'll just bring your arms back down by your side. Let them relax in your lap. Good. Just a little movement with the shoulders here. Just lift your shoulders straight up toward your earlobes and then press down. Do that 2 more times. A nice lift and hold, and then a release. Lift and hold, and then release. And then some circles. You're going to roll them backward, kind of an exaggerated circle. Roll them backward 2 or 3 times. Your whole upper body might be in motion here, and that's fine. And then circle them forward 2 or 3 times. Same thing. Again, just getting some mobility through the shoulders. We're going to do 1 more stretch here. Then go ahead and relax. You can even kind of shake out the arms. We're going to lean to one side. What I like to do actually is I like to bring in a block or a book. I'm going to place it on my right side over here. My hand can go here, but eventually even your elbow can come down to the block or even to the floor, but not necessary. So you're going to take your left arm and extend it across the room with the palm up. Let's go ahead and inhale and reach straight up. So you're reaching for the 12 on the clock. Hold on the exhale. Inhale, reach upward. That's your inhale. Then exhale, start to reach over your body. Just like this. And this right arm can just rest on the floor or a block, something that's giving you a little bit of a lift. And just reach over your head. And it's okay if the elbow bends here. Just a reaching sensation. So we're kind of getting this lengthening and stretch quality down past the shoulder, down into the latissimus muscle, which is part of your back muscle groupings. Okay, just a couple breaths here. Nice reaching sensation. As you're reaching through this hand, this left hand, your left hip is feeling like it's trying to continue to connect to the floor. All right, we're going to come back up, rising back up, and then let the arm come back down to the side, right there. And you can even kind of shake that loose, okay? Let's do the other side. Some of the left hand on the block, and maybe eventually your elbow will come to the floor, but then take the right arm straight across the room. Let's flip the palm up, and inhale to reach straight up towards the 12 on the clock. Hold there on the exhale. Inhale, reach again, straight up. You're lifting yourself up, and on the exhale, start to reach over. It's a little bit of a side bend, so leaning over, hand on the floor or block. You can go a little lower by bringing your elbow or forearm to the block. And just reach. Again, the elbow is okay to bend here, just as long as you feel like you're extending and trying to reach to the side of the room. So you get that side stretch, thinking about past the shoulder, because you are getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch, but kind of past the shoulder and down through the side of the body. A couple more breaths here. And let's go ahead and rise back up, reaching for the ceiling, and then all the way back down. And once it's down and relaxed, give it a little shake. Very good. That's it. I'm just going to turn sideways for this next part. Go ahead and stay seated. Let's take our seated mild back bend. So here you want to take your hands behind you, maybe just propped up onto your fingertips like so. Again, just kind of working shoulders Being aware of your shoulders, roll them back and hold them back. And as you're able, squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you, just so you have that sensation of active muscles in your upper back. You'll tip your chin up slightly and we're ready to go. Inhale, just press into the floor with your fingertips for the energy in your arms, your shoulders. And that breath in to fill up your lungs. That nice expansive feeling across the chest from shoulder to shoulder. Now when you exhale, you're going to pull belly in, and as you're able, continue to squeeze shoulder blades together behind you, just trying to open up through the chest a little bit more. So it's a mild back bend or heart opener. But because of the arms behind us and the head tipped upward, and with the deep breathing, that inhale to fill the lungs, you're going to feel maybe a little stretch across the chest, but here in the front portion of the shoulder as it ties into the pectoral muscles here. All right, couple more breaths, 2 more breaths. All right, then lower your chin so you're looking forward. Then you can walk your hands toward yourself to sit up nice and tall. You can bring your arms back into your lap, even shake that out. Keep them all nice and loose. All right, let's take our forward fold. If you do have your legs crossed, you can uncross the legs here. Let's come to Cobbler's pose or bound angle pose, so the soles of your feet will touch. And you'll have this nice hip opener. You can keep it just like this. You can actually add some padding or some support with some pillows, books, or blocks underneath the knees here. And then hold on to your shins or ankles so you can sit up nice and tall to begin. Then an inhale to feel like you're getting taller. Fill up your lungs again. Exhale, draw belly in for core support as you start to hinge forward just a little bit. Do that again, a nice inhale to feel more extension through the spine. Exhale, pull belly in and hinge forward just a tiny bit more. Now you can stay right here. Now I'm already feeling sensation in the inner thighs. It's not too strong, it feels just right. I feel like I could hold this for a good period of time. That's really the idea for our soft flow when we get into some of our poses. We're modifying some of our poses, gently guide ourselves into them, so we can actually hold them and allow the body to really experience the benefit of the pose. So we're not forcing or pushing ourselves and straining ourselves in any of these positions. You're welcome to tip the chin downward a little bit, even round your back. That provides a little bit more space, so you can probably fold a little bit more without compromising the posture and not really feeling like you're forcing your body anymore. Take some deep breaths here, and if your back happens to be rounded, see if you can actually breathe into your back body. Just as when we're leaning backward, opening up through the chest, we're breathing into the front body, like the front of the lungs. And so as we fold forward, still breathing into the lungs, but see if you can imagine even breathing into the back side of the lungs, allowing even your upper back to expand as you inhale. 2 more breaths here. After that second breath, just lift your chin so the spine begins to lengthen. Maybe placing hands on the mat here, pressing to assist your own body as you rise back up to a nice full, long spine. And just hold for a second. Then we'll go ahead and remove our props to the side, and we're going to make our way to hands and knees. So just carefully move so you can come to hands and knees. This is where you might want to use your blanket or towel here. I like to open mine up to a nice long rectangle. So I've placed for my knees and hands right here. So a little tabletop position, moving into cat pose and cow pose. It starts with cow pose, which is an inhale. So we're going to inhale and just look forward, which creates a little bit of an arch in the back. The pelvis tips back like so, so we get a back bend feel. The belly kind of drops. Then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, feel the belly button pull up towards spine. There's the rounding of the spine, and chin moves in towards chest. Inhale to reverse it. Feel the pelvis tip back, belly drops, back arches, heart opens, look forward. Exhale, scoop through the pelvis, rounded spine. And just continue this nice flow. Go as slowly as you'd like. and not needing to force the back bend or even the rounded back. Just kind of arriving in the pose, finishing the breath, and then moving smoothly into the next round. You just want to get a nice undulation of the spine, movement through the pelvis. There's certainly some energy and action in the hands and arms because they remain steady. But because of the movement of the torso, this does affect the shoulders in a good way. Let's take 3 more breaths, and then we'll take a little pause. After the 3rd breath, just come to stillness here in tabletop for a moment. You'll tuck your toes, and then sit back to what I call half hero, just a place where you can actually get off of your hands, but you're not sitting all the way back in hero pose. You get a little stretch for the toes back there, and then for the hands, give them a little circle here. You can circle them one way, then the other way. Even that gentle press, we've done this before, of pressing the top of the hand very lightly on your blanket or towel here. I'm just like to do like 3 pulses on either side, just to give a little counter stretch and movement in the wrist. Because we're going to be on our wrists again in like 3 seconds here. So let's crawl off the blanket. Let's set that to the side, and let's get ready for downward facing dog. So we're going to return to hands and knees like so. And then step your hands forward so your fingers are spread out pretty wide. You want to spread them out. Nice wide base, pressing the palms down into the mat. Nice stretching for the for the hands, and lengthening through the arms. Very strong here as well. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Let's take cat and cow once again. So an inhale to cow, looking forward, arching the back. There's the back bend. Exhale, round it out. Now you're going to hold your cat pose. Hold it. And then lift your knees off the ground. Send your hips up into the air. That should lengthen the spine. You'll be in downward facing dog. Feel free to adjust your feet, maybe your hands for the next 5 seconds. Nice lengthening. Keep pressing firmly into the mat with the hands. Strong arms. This activates the shoulders and chest and upper back. Look straight down so we can start walking forward into that space you're looking at. Maybe in the center of your mat. Stepping forward until your feet are flat on the mat. Slide your fingers towards your toes. Here's forward fold. You're going to inhale and slide your hands up to your shins or knees. You're going to hold here as you exhale. Okay, just hold the posture. When we inhale, we're going to try to get longer in the torso, forming this little tabletop position. The crown of the head feels like it's shooting forward. Your tailbones feels like it's reaching to the back of the room. Very flat, parallel to the floor. Keep a good bend in the knees here. Hands are just resting on the shins for stability. Still breathing, lengthening through the spine. When we exhale, just keep pulling belly button up towards spine to support the pose. From here, we're going to shift the weight back into the heels just a bit. Bend your knees like you're going to sit down into a low chair. Your upper body will start to tip up. Extend your arms out to the side. Drive the heels into the floor until your legs are straight, torso is long, and then reach both arms up into the sky. Then exhale, bring your arms down by your side, right here. Let's do more circles with the shoulders. 3 times backward, big circles, and then the same thing forward. You can even work down the joints. You can even do that with the elbows and even your wrists again and fingers. Like to wiggle the fingers. Okay, we're going to do our forward fold and then come back up. Okay? So back to mountain pose. Take a breath. Then an inhale to sweep the arms out and up. Nice reaching sensation. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees. Feel the weight shift into your heels. Feel like you're sitting back into an imaginary chair. Folding forward in slow motion. Hands come down. Head will start to lower. There's forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs. Pause here when you're halfway up. Hold on the exhale. Feel the nice lengthened spine. Pause here for a moment. And then shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees. Tip the upper body forward or up. Arms out to the side. Standing up tall. Reaching into the air. Exhale. Let's bring the arms back down. You can give them another little shake if you'd like. Good. All right, let's move into our Warrior 1 variation. Once again, starting in mountain pose. So this is a lunge. We like to start with soft knees just to make sure we're not locking the knees. Shifting weight into your right foot, press firmly into the floor for the activation of the whole right leg. Nice inhale to feel taller in the body, breath filling up the lungs. Exhale, pull belly in to engage. Lean forward a little bit so you can start tapping or stepping this left foot back. Heel is lifted, toes flexed like this. Doesn't have to go back very far. And then pivot or turn that foot, plant it into the floor. So the foot's kind of turned out at an angle there, and you shifted back so you're kind of centered, very balanced. Place your hands on your hips, push pelvis downward with your hands, and then with the upper body, feel like you're just trying to lengthen the spine, lifted torso, and then start to face mostly forward. Now inhale, extend your arms straight up into the sky, and exhale, bend elbows to about 90 degrees. We're going to do a couple things here. This is actually going to help us with our dolphin pose. Okay, I'm going to face you. Okay, so we're still in our warrior one variation, but you're going to keep the arms at parallel like this, and then you're going to squeeze inward as best as you can. If they touch, they touch. If they don't, that's okay. They don't have to touch. Right there. You're going to open, take your time, and you're just going to go just slightly past that center spot where it feels like your chest is opening here, okay? Okay, now with the next exhale, exhale, squeeze. Right there, maybe elbows touch. Inhale to open. Right there. Okay, hold. Okay, I'm just going to return over here. Now we're just going to inhale and shoot the arms straight up. Exhale, bring the arms down. Place your hands on your hips. Lean forward and put weight into this front foot so we can easily step forward with the left, right there. Then inhale, stand up tall, reach both arms up into the sky. Exhale, arms down by your side. Feel free to shake that out. Okay, we're going to do the exact same thing other side. So again, the same thing with those elbows squeezing to center. Let's start with soft knees. Start shifting weight into left foot, root into the floor, strong thigh. Make sure you're nice and tall, lengthen through the neck as well. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale to secure your center. Lean forward a little bit, and then start tapping the right foot back, just until it just kind of naturally stops. Heel lifted, pivot, turn, place, or press that heel into the floor, centered body. Hands on hips, push pelvis down. Feel the torso lift and lengthen, and then turn to face mostly forward. Here we go. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, bend elbows to 90 degrees. Let's just hold there for a few seconds. Okay, we're going to do that same squeeze. First, just inhale. I'm just going to puff up the chest. Exhale, squeeze to center. Okay. Then inhale to slowly open. And kind of going past a little bit, like so it opens up through the chest. You're going to feel this in your back, even in your shoulders. Okay. The next exhale, squeeze. Just one more time. Squeeze. Inhale to open. Hold here on the exhale. Next breath. Inhale, shoot the arms straight up. Exhale, bring the arms down, hands to hips. Lean forward, putting pressure in the front foot. Stepping forward with that back foot. Inhale, standing up tall. Once again, arms up into the sky. Exhale, arms return to your side. Give them another little shake. Very good. All right, let's continue with our sun salutation, breaking it down. When you're ready, inhale to shoot the arms straight up. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees. Feel like you're sitting back into an imaginary chair, folding slowly. Good muscle work when you move in slow motion like this. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs to help you extend the spine. Now on this exhale, fold and bend. Your back will round, that's fine. Let the knees bend, getting low enough until you can place your hands on the floor in front of your feet and start walking both feet back to the back end of your mat. Once you're there, try to straighten out the body as best as you can. So we're in plank pose, a high push-up position like this. Make sure you're pushing firmly into the floor like you're trying to push the floor away from you. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips into the sky. And there's our downward facing dog. Adjust the feet. I like to tiptoe forward just a little bit. Keep a good bend in the knees. Feel the hips lift up into the sky. Then press a little bit more firmly into the mat, even more pressure towards your thumbs and index fingers. And the inner arms feel like they're squeezing towards each other, like you're holding on to something between the forearms. You may feel this in your chest and shoulders and back. If you need to rest, you can always kneel down. We're going to continue from here with our lunges. Inhale, pick up your right foot and extend the right leg back. Reach. When you exhale, bend the right knee. Bring the knee in underneath you towards your chest, shifting your whole upper body forward until your shoulders are over your wrists. Set the toes down. Okay, the heel is lifted again. And then set your left knee down onto the floor. This is going to allow you to take your right hand, reach back, go get your right foot, literally pick it up and place it up a little higher on your mat. We're going for that wider stance of the Warrior One, second variation. Relift your left knee, pivot or turn left heel to the floor. Really press into the ground with that back foot. You might even feel your body weight shift back. You do want that. But make sure you have an extended spine, lengthening over your right leg here in front. Rise with an inhale, lifting, hinging from hips, reaching into the air. Exhale, just lunge a little deeper. Here's our Warrior One. Let's hold this for a moment so it feels a little different from that first variation. More distance between the legs and feet. A bit more sensation in this left hip flexor. Right there. Straighter arms. Now we're going to inhale, reach high. And exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room as your arms come down to parallel, like so. Good energy through the arms. This is also very good for your shoulders, of course, helping them to stabilize, get stronger just by holding them in place like this. Now, you're going to bend your right arm at 90 degrees, okay, 90 degrees, and then reach forward, leading with the forearm. Just lead with the forearm, and then rotate. And go ahead and rest your forearm maybe at mid-thigh, right there. And then lift into the air, reach into the air with the left arm, okay? So this arm is kind of resting, not too heavily though, on this right leg. You can see I can still, what I call paint the bench, you can still move it here because you're using a lot of your core energy to stay active and up. This left hand in the air, you're going to bring the left hand down behind you to your low back. My palm is facing to the back of the room. And then some more circles with the shoulder. 3, let's do 3 circles. 1, let's roll them backward. 2, 3, and hold it back on that third one. Again, opening up through the chest here. Take a couple more breaths. Now we're going to inhale and take this left arm back up into the air and slowly turn and fold so you can bring the hands back down to the ground in front. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. More firm pressing into the mat with the hands, lifting the hips as you can so you can release some weight from that right foot and slide it back. Here's plank pose. Press into the ground with the hands, strong arms. Bend the knees, hips into the air, down dog. Adjust the feet and hands. Make sure you're pressing towards thumbs and index fingers. Energy in those inner arms. Feel what's happening in the shoulders, chest, and maybe your upper back. Other side, lunge series. Inhale, let's lift the left leg, extend it back, reach through your toes. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in underneath you towards chest, shifting body forward, shoulders over wrist. That's a very strong, active body right there. Set the toes, left foot on the floor. Right knee comes to the floor. Let's go get that foot. Left hand, let's go get it, pick it up, place it up top. Replant that left hand. Relift the right knee. Pivot right heel to the floor. Shift the body weight back so we have more pressure in that back foot. You can see I even step my hands back so I make sure I do have good weight behind me. Extend through the spine, long torso out over the left thigh. Then we hinge from hips, rising up, reaching into the air. Inhale. Exhale, just lunge. Just kind of sink into the posture. You want to have a sensation of lifting and lunging at the same time. You're going up and down at the same time. Notice the sensations. Take a breath. Let's get ready to move. Take another inhale, preparing the body to move. Exhale, turn torso towards right side of the room as your arms come down to parallel and reach. Once there, you've turned and opened, a little extra reach. Even check in with the shoulders. They can get tired here for sure. And they even get a little stiff. As you can, see if you can drop the shoulders and imagine shooting that tense sensation, that tense energy out their fingertips. Let's bend this left arm at 90 degrees. Lean forward, being led by that left forearm. Rotate so we can bring that forearm to the mid-thigh, and then reach up into the air with the right hand. Remember, you still should be able to paint the bench with the left arm. We're not putting too much weight there. We're using core energy to help stay afloat, basically. Now bring this right hand down behind you. My palm is facing you. Okay, right there, right at the low back. And then 3 circles, big circles if you can with this right shoulder. 1, 2, 3, hold it back. Hold it open. Actually, you're opening up through the chest. Take a couple breaths here. Now an inhale to re-extend right arm up into the air. Exhale, let's carefully turn and fold, bending, coming down, hands to the mat. Rise up on the tiptoes behind you, press firmly into the floor with the hands, lifting the hips, sliding left foot back, plank. Realigning the body, again, good pressure into the ground with the hands, strong arms. And then let's bring knees to the floor. Let's take our half hero, so tuck toes. Sit back a little bit, so again, we get the pressure off the hands. Some circles with the hands. Wiggle the fingers. If you like, that gentle press into the mat, okay? Here's another thing you can do. You can just press the tops of the hands together, a little swing as well, okay? Just so we can keep all that limber, okay, not too stiff. All that mobility stays in place. All right, let's go ahead and come to the ground here. Sit off to the side. Swing the legs around to the front. We're going to move into our supported bridge pose. This is where you're going to need your stack of books or blocks, okay? Go ahead and sit in the center of your mat, and then go ahead and roll down onto your back. Lie down. Go ahead and hug the knees into chest for a moment, just for a little massage. You can just rock left and right, create some circles. I like to create figure 8s. Make sure you're taking some deep breaths here as well. Alrighty, go ahead and set the feet onto the floor, knees bent, of course. Now you'll take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale to empty the belly, nice core engagement, and then lift hips into the air, high enough so you can grab your books or blocks, slide them underneath you, and then sit. Just sit on the blocks, and really just relax. And just open here. Opening the whole front side of the body. Now I like to get my shoulders a little bit underneath me, okay, just so I can really experience that expansion and opening in the upper chest region. Okay, and take some deep breaths as if you're trying to breathe right up to your collarbones. I like these poses, especially what we're doing with our shoulders today. We're doing a lot of work where we're bringing the arms behind us or the shoulders behind us. Because in kind of everyday living and doing, our arms are forward, our shoulders are forward, like when you're driving or maybe typing at a keyboard, at a computer, for example. Okay, the shoulders are often pulled forward. Okay, it's not very often that we pull shoulders back. Okay, and it's certainly going to help with posturing, but just opens up some of that tight spaces. 2 more breaths. We also want to build some good strength, so that's why we're doing Dolphin Pose today. All right, lifting the hips so you can move your blocks out of the way. Come safely back down to the ground. Go ahead and draw knees to chest. Some more movement if you'd like. And eventually maybe rocking forward and back or even rolling to the side so you can make your way up to a seated position. Okay? And just go ahead and take a comfortable seat for a moment. I'm going to demonstrate something against the wall. So you can just take a seat, grab a sip of water. Okay? So here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to make our way up through yoga. We're going to make our way back up to standing. But here's what we're going to do up against a wall. So you want to have some wall handy, but let me show you what's going to happen. So what you're going to do, you're going to fold your fingers together like this, kind of making this triangle with the arms, this angled arms, so they'll be kind of out in front of you like this. And then you'll step up to your wall, just like that. Now I'm going to send mine up a little bit, okay? So my fists are just above my forehead level, right there, okay? And then I'm going to step back a couple steps, like so, okay? And even actually, I'm going to kind of come into this lunge feeling. Okay, like this. And imagine I'm trying to push this door down or push the wall down. I'm not going to push too firmly because I don't want to bust my door down. Okay, so I'm just pushing with some effort, okay, just to activate the arms and shoulders here. And here's another thing that's going to happen. I'm going to have you kind of like look down at the floor. Okay, you're kind of sinking down between between the biceps. You'll feel this in the upper back and even in the shoulders a little bit. So we're kind of pushing with some effort and energy into the wall and just look down. Okay, and then we're going to come back up, let that kind of relax, and we'll do that a second time, okay? So that's what we'll do. So stay in seated, I'll meet you there. Alrighty, let's do a quick boat pose. So if your legs are crossed, let's go ahead and extend the legs out like so. Knees bent, feet flexed, heels on the floor. Hold on or underneath the bent knees so you can lift yourself up straight as can be, like you're up against a wall. That's an inhale. Exhale, pull belly in, keep that activation, and just lean back even just a little bit. Just like that is fine. This is our boat pose variation for soft flow. This is great for strengthening your core, because I think you can hold this certainly much longer than a regular boat pose, because everything starts to tire out pretty quickly. So with this pose, I think you're going to get stronger faster because you get to hold the pose longer. Does that make sense? A couple more breaths. Great core activation. You can even play with, releasing the legs. You don't have to lean back too far. Okay, just a little bit is fine, and extend the arms out front. I can feel this working. Okay, maybe you can feel your belly just, automatically activate so you don't fall over. All right, let's go ahead and relax by sitting up. We're going to swing the legs back behind us. Come to hands and knees like so. Okay, let's prepare for down dog. So step the hands forward slightly, spread out your fingers, press strongly into the ground, strong arms. Cat, cow. Inhale, cow, that's the back bend. Exhale, cat, hold cat. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips into the air, straighten the spine, down dog. You can even sink the chest a little bit here. Now, dolphin pose actually resembles downward facing dog, except we're going to be on our elbows. Not just yet. Okay, now go ahead and step forward until you're standing in the center of your mat. Feet flat on the ground. Slide your fingers towards toes. There's forward fold. Weight shift into the heels. Bend your knees. Look forward to extend the spine. Spread your wings. Stand up tall. Reach into the air. There's our stretch. Exhale, arms return to your side. Okay, go ahead and shake out those shoulders. Okay, now let's go set up for our forearm strengthening. Okay, it's forearm and shoulder strengthening. Okay, so find some wall. Hopefully you have some wall nearby and you can still hear me if you have to walk away. Okay, so we're going to start with folded fingers, creating a nice kind of triangle shape with the arms. Come up to your wall, just place them on the wall. You might need to take the hands up just a little bit so your fists are probably at forehead level or just slightly higher. Step back a little bit, but come to a lunge sensation like this. You might be 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. So you're able to kind of give some effort of pushing into the wall. Now this is what's happening when you're pushing into the wall. You're broadening the back. I'm even sending my back, okay, towards, to the wall behind me. So I feel pretty open and spacious. Keep breathing like this. So we got some effort of the forearms, pressing into the door or wall. Active arms, broad shoulders, broad upper back, I should say. Okay, then you're going to look down. Okay, like you're just kind of dipping to look down in your ears, maybe come to bicep level. Okay, keep pressing into the wall, look down, notice what's happening in the shoulders, maybe some sensation there. Let's look back up, even relax a little. Push into the wall, broaden the upper back, inhale so you inflate the lungs. Exhale, let's dip down, ears to shoulder level. Keep breathing here a couple more times. Okay, we're going to come back up, soften, and release. Okay, come away. Now we're going to be doing the same sensation, not against a wall, but on the floor. That pressure into the floor, broadening the back, kind of that sinking sensation, and that's going to be Dolphin Pose. Alrighty, so let's come to Mountain Pose. Let's do a flow to make our way down, and we'll work our way there. All right, nice and tall here. Here we go. Inhale, float the arms out and up into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. So it's a good hinge from hips. Bend your knees, spread your wings. Feel like you're sitting back into that imaginary chair, slowly folding down. Maybe you'll touch your toes. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins or knees, extending your spine. Long, flat back. Exhale, fold and bend. Take your time, getting low enough until you can place both hands on the floor. Let's start walking both feet back into plank pose. Hold here in plank. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, downward facing dog. Remember this sensation, because here your ears might be aligned with your biceps. Hold for a moment, and then bring the knees to the floor. You can even sit back into hero or half hero, because what we're going to do is bring in that blanket or towel, something soft. Right here, we're going to do a couple things. Okay, another strength move before we get into dolphin, but something I'd like to do, okay, just to kind of get some lateral motion, okay, through the arm as well, okay? This is what we're going to do. Follow me. So you're on hands and knees. You can even unfold your blanket so your knees are on your blanket, but not necessary, mainly for your hands. Okay? Now you're going to come down to your elbows. Okay, your forearms, like so. So on your cushion. Arms are parallel for a moment. Okay, but tap your right hand on the mat and then kind of swing the right hand to center. Okay, right hand to center. So your right arm is at an angle. I'm leaning over into the right arm and my right knee. Because what I'm going to do is kind of prop myself up on my left hand, just for supports, and extend the left leg back, toes on the floor. I'm tapping my right foot and kind of swinging it out to the side. So the angle of my forearm and calf are the same. And I'm going to open up. Okay, so this is the opening of the shoulder here. Okay, that lateral opening, and also pressing down into the mat with the forearm and hand as I open up sideways here. And I need to make a little adjustment because I feel a little bound up. There, I've got a little bit more room now. There we go. Okay, so we're on the forearm, we're in a side plank pose variation. We're on the knee and on the arm. Inhale. Exhale, let's come back down. Before we get to the other side, okay, come back up onto both hands. Take the knees wide. Sit back. Going into child's pose. Extending the arms out front just for 2 breaths. Take some deep breaths. Again, you're kind of sinking the head down between the arms, ears at bicep level. 2 breaths. Go ahead and let your forehead rest on the mat or blanket and then extend your arms behind you. But let them relax. Let them completely relax. 3 breaths. Even just melt. Get heavy here. Okay, a little pause and rest before we get to the other side because there's a lot of activation here. Okay, after that 3rd breath, let's bring the hands back out in front. Palms on the blanket. Lift right here. Okay, let's do the other side. So slowly and carefully come down to the elbows or forearms. First, the arms are parallel to one another. Tap the left hand, swing the hand to center. So the arm is at an angle. Okay, we're going to lean over to the left arm and knee. Start to lift. Place the right palm on the floor to help you extend the right leg back, keeping the toes on the floor. Tap your left foot and swing it off to the left side. And the angle of the leg and arm are the same. And then continue opening so you can extend your right arm up into the air. Lift. We got that hip in the air, okay, because that knee is on the floor, so it's an interesting angle. But really pressing down firmly into the mat with the forearm and the hand, opening up. Side plank variation. Inhale. Then exhale, let's return to the earth. Same resting moment. Wide knees. Sit back, child's pose. 2 breaths with arms extended, sinking the head down between the arms. Deep breaths here. After the second breath, let your forehead rest on the mat. Extend your arms behind you. Let them completely relax. 3 breaths. After the third breath, use your hands to help press yourself up. If you can sit in hero, come to hero. If you want to come to half hero, do half hero. All right, so here's the final pose. We finally made it to the final pose. Let me just show you first. Okay, we're still going to use this nice padding. You're going to take your fingers, fold them, make the triangle right there. And you're going to place the forearms on your blanket. You're going to still be on your knees for a moment. Actually, you can do the whole thing on your knees. Just like you did against the wall, you're going to push fists, folded fingers, fists and forearms press down into the blanket as you inhale and broaden the upper back. Exhale and hold that sensation by pulling belly button up towards spine. Your arms are really engaged here. You can stay just like this, okay? Or tuck toes, lift knees and hips just slightly up into the air. This is going to be our dolphin pose today, okay? So ideally, or in another class or another style of class, we would step the feet forward so the hips are much higher. But we're not going to do that today. We're just going to lift the knees, take a couple of breaths, and then come back down, rest, and do it again, okay? So that's our dolphin pose exercise. Okay, join me. So make sure you got your blanket. Go ahead and fold your fingers, making the fist. You got a little triangle shape with the forearms. And go ahead and place your triangle on your blanket. You're on your knees here. Now start by putting pressure into the blanket with your fists. And then feel the pressure of your forearms into the blanket. We're trying to resist putting too much pressure in the elbows, okay? So it starts with the fists, forearms, press down, inhale. Feel the broadening of the back. Fill yourself up. Exhale, pull belly in. Keep breathing, keep this sensation. Feel the energy in your arms. Now tuck toes. You can stay on your knees if you want, or with your next exhale, lift the knees off the ground. Okay, you don't have to lift very high. Okay, your hips will probably be a little bit higher than your shoulders, or maybe even at the same level. That's fine. Hold. And then come back down. Soften. You can do that same child's pose series, which I'm going to do right now. Sit back, extend the arms for the stretch, 2 breaths. Rest forehead on the blanket. Send the arms behind. Relax completely, 3 breaths. We're going to do our dolphin pose one more time. Okay, whenever you're ready, let's come back up. Let's do our same setup. Folded fingers. Here's our triangle. Out onto the blanket. Start the pressure point of fists pushing into the ground, then the forearms. Keep that action. Inhale, fill up the back side of your lungs. Broaden the back. Exhale, engage belly. Stay like this or tuck toes. Next exhale. Lift knees into the air. You can even lift the hips a little higher. If you lift them a little higher, you're going to send weight forward. That's good. You want weight more towards the fists and forearms, away from the elbows. If you were moving more into the posture, you would tiptoe forward with the feet towards elbows. Hips would lift a little higher. It will resemble downward facing dog. But again, we want that pressure forward, not on those elbow joints. They're delicate enough. One more breath. And then release. Okay, relax. Child's pose, arms extended, 2 breaths. Arms down by your side, relaxed, 3 breaths. After your 3rd breath, you can rise up to hero or half hero. If you need a little press for the arm or for the wrists, go ahead and do your pulse if you'd like, or even just some circular motions with the shoulders. Very good. Now, of course, we didn't go into the full posture, but these are things that are really helpful in taking those steps forward towards a full dolphin pose. All right, let's go ahead and lie down. Have your props that you like to use handy. blocks and pillows and blankets. Okay? Go ahead and lie down. Let's go ahead and bring knees to chest. More movement here. Circles, any kind of natural motions that just feel good. This might be a great time just to kind of rock side to side or forward and back, or make these circles just to massage the low back. Okay, after some of the work we just did. You can feel free to circle the feet, getting into the ankles, just like we got into the shoulder joints and even the elbows and wrists. Don't forget about the ankle joints. Here, let's take an extension of the legs up into the air. The legs can go absolutely straight, but of course they don't have to. You can keep a slight bend in the knees. Feet can be relaxed, or you can keep them active by flexing, then pointing, circles, or just relaxed, not in motion. Just holding the legs up, taking some breaths. Very good. Just like to get upside down sometimes, just to get our circulation really revved up. 2 more breaths. And after this second breath, go ahead and bend the knees. Keep hugging the knees into chest. Okay, let's take our happy baby pose. Here's 2 versions of happy baby I like to do in this class. This first one is just like this. Okay, just taking the legs wide, just like this, without even taking the feet up towards ceiling, just taking the legs wide so you can get that stretch in the inner thighs. This is perfect for a happy baby pose variation. You certainly can grab hold of the soles of the feet and send them up towards the sky like this. Gently press down for a different sensation. Either one's fine. In either pose, you can continue that nice rocking sensation. Not only does it affect the hips, but it gets into the low back again, just with this gentle rocking feeling. We're going to take reclining cobbler's pose. We'll do 2 versions of that position. The first one is here, where we take the soles of the feet, press them together. They're up, okay? So your toes are facing or pointing towards the ceiling here. Hold on to the feet with your hands, and then gently press the heels down towards your pelvis, and then push or send your knees or legs forward towards the front end of your mat. That will open the hips. This is a reclining bound angle pose. One version, because it's a little bit more active. A couple breaths here. We did this seated, remember? We did this seated and we kind of folded forward a little bit to get into the inner thighs. This is just the lying down version. Here's the next relaxed version. Keep the feet pressed together, but send the feet onto the ground and just let everything relax and open. Now, if your blocks are nearby, mine happen to be. So I'm going to grab my blocks and place them right underneath my knees so they rest. Oh, that feels nice. So they just feel relaxed there. They don't feel pulled open. They're actually resting open. This is actually a good pose you can do for the very end of your class, of your practice. You can come to Shavasana for sure, but this is another way you can maybe feel quite relaxed. Okay, but we're not there quite yet. We have one more pose to do. Just really allowing the body to settle. You did a lot of upper body work, so hopefully your upper body is beginning to experience some relaxation. Go ahead and take one more breath. Let's bring the knees together, hug them in toward your body, catch them in your hands. Let's take a twist, final pose. Let's take the knees over to the left side, maybe down to that block or pillow that's over there if it happens to be over there, and extend your right arm off to the right side. So the block or pillow or book, whatever you've got, can be used to help monitor how deep your twist is. Okay, if your legs are resting on some blocks right there, you won't over-rotate. Especially if you have a sensitive back, and a twist like this, may not feel all that great. So something here to prop you up might be helpful. 2 more breaths. And then you can make your way back up to center. Hold. And the knees over to the other side. Again, I've got a block over there, which is nice. Don't feel like I'm over rotating. I can feel quite relaxed here, very comfortable. Doesn't feel like I'm pulling or straining that back at all. And again, I probably could hold this a long time. That's the idea. Checking in with your breath. Hopefully you're taking these nice long fluid breaths. 2 more breaths. When you're ready, return to center. Maybe one more hug. And then extend the legs out in front of you. They can be straight legs out front here, arms down by your side for Shavasana. Or you might come back to that reclining cobbler's pose or any other relaxing position. If you need to elevate the legs or feet, maybe you've got a pillow underneath the legs or underneath knees. Sometimes you need to have your knees bent to feel a bit more relaxed. And once you're in place, just see if you can just melt. Come to stillness. Keep eyes open if you like, just gazing upward, or close your eyes and go inside. Just as you did at the beginning of your practice, focus on the sound and the feeling of your breath. Just continue to focus on your breathing. And remember, you can stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice, just stay here. This nice meditation space. Taking care of yourself. When it is time to move, start with breathing. Just bring a little bit more energy to the breath. Go ahead and take 5 breaths. As you're taking these 5 breaths, begin to feel movement return to your body. And after your 5th breath, moving in slow motion, carefully roll onto either side of your body. And from here, slowly rise to seated. Find something soft to sit on. Maybe crossing your legs. Nicely extended spine. Just one more little gentle circle of the shoulders, or lift the shoulders up towards earlobes, and then relax the arms. Hold here. And then one more movement together. Let's inhale and take the arms out and up, reaching for the sky. When you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold here. Take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of this portion of our practice together, we bow saying, Namaste.